Guy Sports.
Full episode for September 18th, 2025.
And smash that subscribe button.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast. It's your host, Brent Bilski, a.k.a. WB, or the 110 Soldier. Today, I got a new segment for the NFL now that we are in NFL season called Hell Yeah or Sit Your Ass Down. What? Hell Yeah or Sit Your Ass Down. I'm going to give you some reactions, even though it's just week 2. Y'all love to do it. Is the Tush Push dead? Are the Chiefs cooked? Who's the best team that's 1-1? Is Caleb Williams a bust? We'll get all into it. Also, in the NFL, I will die on this hill. I'm going to talk about it again today. One day, the least respected position in NFL will change the game.
A kicker.
A kicker.
Cowboys gave you a glimpse of it. I'll explain more why later. Also, WNBA Playoffs. I'm just going to explain that without Angel and Paige and everyone else, I just don't care.
No, and I don't care.
And the ratings prove that I'm not the only one in that conversation.
Hey, no one's watching anymore.
And so, like I said, I know what y'all want. You want me to get to the NFL, and I promise I will. I know you want it. I know you need it. Overreactions, quarterbacks on Fraud Watch, all that stuff. But there was something that happened, and it took me from here to here.
The whole world is broken.
And, you know, it's sports, it's life. These things happen. But I was so up here yesterday, and I found out something else, and it just completely pissed me off, but I'm still going to lead with it because I thought this was supposed to be the feel-good story of at least this month, maybe in all of sports.
Story time. Why I suddenly hate the Milwaukee Brewers.
The Brewers, baby, and your mascot Birdie.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
In case you don't know what I'm talking about because you weren't with me to be disappointed, I thought the best story in sports was going to be the Milwaukee Brewers and why we should all root for them. In case you haven't been paying attention, the Milwaukee Brewers have had something brewing with the playoffs coming up. I mean, this is a team that has consistently been on the bottom. They've only been to one World Series, have never won one. Last appearance was in 1982. They only have a third of the payroll of the big dogs like the Dodgers and the Yankees. And for the first time in a long time, they got something really brewing. They got a 91-59 record, the best in Major League Baseball. They're in first place. They have a plus 173 run differential. That is the best in MLB by a damn mile. They had franchise record 14-game win streak this year from August 1st to the 16th, an 11-game win streak earlier in the season. They had an 8-game win streak as well. They're only the 10th team since 1969 to achieve multiple 10-game win streaks in the same season. Stars like Kristen Yelich, the former MVP, Contreras, their all-star catcher, Peralta, ace pitcher, young guys like Churio, scrappy guys like Frelick. It's not supposed to happen in Milwaukee, but it might happen this year. Can the Milwaukee Brewers do it? And they're all being led by the story of Bob Uecker. And I thought this was going to be divine intervention from a revered legend based on something that they told me. Earlier this year, the legend Bob Uecker passed away. And if you know anything about the Brewers or if you know anything about baseball, you should know who Bob Uecker is. He was Mr. Baseball, and he passed away in January this year. He was a former backup catcher for the Milwaukee Brewers when they were the Braves back in the 50s, went on to win the World Series champs with the Cardinals in '64. But more importantly, Bob Uecker was the voice of the Brewers for 54 seasons in their play-by-play. He wasn't just beloved by Milwaukee. He was a national figure. Late-night television was on Mr. Belvedere. Most of y'all should remember him if you're my age, being the unforgettable Harry Doyle in Major League with all sorts of amazing quotes that almost stole that movie. Just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Ball 4. Ball 8.
Ball 4. Ball 8.
I mean, he was just so great at what he did. Johnny Carson literally nicknamed him Mr. Baseball. He wasn't just an announcer. He bled for Milwaukee baseball. And so now, like I said, the Brewers are playing great. They just lost their legend in January. And so a couple days ago, I saw this video right before he died in January, and this was in the locker room, read to the team by manager Pat Murphy just a couple nights ago after the Brewers clinched their playoff spot on a dramatic walk-off. He had a letter posthumously from Bob Uecker that he read to the team, and I'll play this whole thing for you because, man, it gave me the goosebumps to think that Bob wrote this back in January.
I got a letter today from you. And before we toast, I want to read it. Thanks, Mark. Thought it was fitting. The last time that we celebrated, Uecker was with us. Howdy, boys. Never a doubt you would get this invitation. You did it by believing. Really miss you guys, and I wish I was there. Things are good. The God Almighty picked me to be on his team up here. Albeit I'm the third catcher. It's a great league. No day games after night games. No shadows. But you got all the sticky you need to have up here. Told the big guy about you guys. You play hard every night. You're not afraid to play for each other. He's obviously very interested in the group with this uncommon goodness. The fact that you have the best record in baseball, the best road record in baseball, has caught his attention. You don't really need me. I know you guys really don't need me, but I've got to tell you, I'll be on the headset every night watching. And don't forget to take it all in, enjoy it, keep it light, and believe in each other. Bob Uecker. So let's toast to him and to our team, what we've achieved so far. Hey.
Amazing stuff, right? Think about it. That in January, before like even spring training, he predicted they'd have the best record and the best road record. And in September, he's right. He's brought things to fruition. Sometimes things go beyond the game. It's spiritual. It's inspirational. It's supernatural. Go Brew Crew, right? No. Turns out the whole damn thing was a lie.
Yeah, art is a lie. Nothing is real.
Oh, you lied to me. You lied to me.
I cannot explain how annoyed I am by the fact that they took me from here down to here with the fact that this was all a lie and nothing is real in this world, and I don't know why I didn't see this coming. It turns out that actually Mr. Murphy, the manager, wrote that letter and then said this was from Bob Uecker. I mean, just... It's a fake. Murphy wrote the letter. Like I said, nothing is real in the world. I will tell you one day about all your favorite sports movies that are based on a true story. Google it. They're not. Everyone lies. The world is a lie. And I don't know why, but this one really pissed me off. But they said that Murphy the next day, because that video went viral, it was sensational. Because the headline didn't say Murphy made this up in spirit of Bob Uecker. The damn headline said the letter from Bob Uecker after he died to the Brewers, and it was supposed to be this great thing, but he admitted he wrote it on a radio show the next day in Milwaukee and said that he did it because it was supposed to be great tribute to Bob, was a direct quote. I thought it was an opportunity to honor him and remind the players and the people that are watching about the legend of Bob Uecker. And you know what? No, I just, ugh.
I don't like liars.
There's just something about it. Am I wrong here? There's just something about you making up that letter and saying it was from Bob Uecker. And maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe it was the social media people's fault. But somebody got me. And I think that's part of it. I got so I was right there, man. I was with you. I was like, wow. Uecker from the grave, the legend, doing his thing. And it was a lie. Was a lie. You know, even if it was good intention. What's the Oscar Wilde quote? Something about the best intentions is where the worst work gets done or some stuff. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and I'm not as eloquent as Mr. Wilde. But now I'm mad. Now I say screw the Brewers, and I am just so pissed off. I went from I was going to buy a Brewers shirt. That's where I was yesterday. I was trying to find a Brewers shirt here in Los Angeles so I could wear it in the studio and be like, man, we got to go for the Brew Crew. They got to be the next one to break their curse like the Cubs did with the Billy Goat, like the Sox did with the Great Bambino. The Brewers are up next. They've never won a World Series since 1982. They got to win. They got to win. And then to find out that the whole thing was a lie. The whole letter was a lie. You goddamn managers. I'm so sick. Baseball managers in general just piss me off in the first place. They've annoyed me from day one. Besides the micromanaging, I mean, good God, they've had to make rules because guys like Bruce Bochy were bringing in 9 relievers, left and right-handed, to face different batters to get through like 2/3 of a damn inning. And then the other part that always annoyed me, I guess it goes back historically, but they wear like the actual baseball uniform. I'd see Tommy Lasorda, like it's 76 years old in full base. Like, what, are you going to pinch run? You know, what are you doing? Like, can you imagine any other sport where that happened, where the head coach was wearing the actual uniform the players wear? Like if Greg Popovich was just sitting on the sidelines in like a full Spurs outfit, like how ridiculous that would look. So the micromanaging, the wearing of the outfits, and now you're lying to me about dead legends writing letters to your team in an inspirational way, or social media did it. Somebody did it, and I'm pissed off. I'm sick of managers. I'm sick of the Brew Crew. I hope you get swept. I went from being here and being on your side. I hope you guys get swept in the first round. I hope you never win a World Series. I hope your curse lasts longer than the Cubs and the Sox combined. I don't know. Maybe it's just because you got me. Maybe I'm just feeling a little vulnerable. But, man, I thought this was a big story, man. I was going to lead with it. I'm still leading with it. I hope all y'all get replaced by artificial intelligence, you damn managers. You're all useless.
I'll never trust anybody again.
And good news is we're actually there. Quick story about this, then I will get into football. It turns out managers are possibly going to get replaced by artificial intelligence just like the rest of us. Just like the rest of us. We're all going to get replaced by artificial intelligence one day, but this was a real story a couple days ago, and now I'm happy about it. Replace all managers with computers. At least computers don't lie. Skynet takes the field. The Oakland Ballers minor league team used an AI manager, and they won the game with some caveat.
Ballers will be the first professional sports team ever to have AI manage or coach a game, which also means Miles will be the first manager or head coach in professional sports history to be replaced by a computer model.
I'm looking forward to it, actually. AI may be a bench coach and it's coming soon. Every person out here in a job that knows AI may be coming for their job doesn't like this at all, you know what I mean? And part of me thinks that too, but
I think it's a natural fear for all of us, not just sports, but in life, that AI is coming for our jobs.
They took our job!
There's too many movies and there's been too many warnings that artificial intelligence will one day take over the world, and it's really not just paranoia anymore. You have situations in your own life where you are also being lied to. You call a call center now to complain or talk to someone, half the time you're arguing with a bot. You read a local news story from your paper from a writer, that's an AI script. Financial modeling that you follow, a lot of times now just some algorithm because they can pump them out way faster than any junior analyst. Creative jobs, pictures you see, music you hear, graphic design, podcast scripts, they're all being helped or assisted by artificial intelligence. And so they're coming for all of us, man.
They took his job.
It's not just baseball managing, it's everyone. The robots are eyeing your LinkedIn page as we speak. But baseball has been flirting with artificial intelligence and technology for a while, and it really is the most fitting because they do use the most technology or at least analytics in their sport, I would say way more than anyone else. Nobody counts more or does more math than baseball as far as a sport as a whole, and so you're seeing technology try to assist that stuff. Robot umpires. I'm a big fan of just going to the box and getting rid of the human error in that element. I love that they took away in certain bang-bang plays, whether someone's out or whether they caught the ball or whether it's a home run, the replay review has now been outsourced to tech. I think that's been a great way to quell any sort of controversy. Now you have analytics as well, not just help picking rosters like Moneyball, but they're helping decide lineups with spreadsheets.
No problemo.
And we've slowly let the machines creep in, and just like everything else that we fear, it always starts as the helper, the machine, and then suddenly you're the helper for the machine, and you're in the background, and you're just the assistant, and we wonder who's next.
They took our jobs!
Well, enter the Oakland Ballers. This was a cool story. In the Independent Pioneer League squad, they gave AI the keys for one game to manage them, where he was able to, the AI machine was able to do the lineups, was able to do the pinch hitters, and figure out the pitching changes, all that stuff, and it was all made by a tablet in the dugout. Their manager, Aaron Miles, was just chilling. I don't know if he was watching Housewives or, Love Island or something. He was just sitting on the sideline in the bench, and they actually still won the game. They won the game with their AI manager, 3-2 over Great Falls. History made. The first AI manager wins a pro baseball game. Now, the caveat, though, is that it still needed help. Just like if you ever use AI in your own life, you know a lot of times you still have to help it. It glitched with live stats. There was an extra inning knockout rule that they forgot to enter into the code. They didn't know what that was, where they have basically a home run derby at the end of the minor league game if it's a tie game in order to decide it. It didn't know what to do. A manager had to step in and bring in the best hitter. So humans had to step in, and AI did get the W, but it still had its training wheels. But in general, the fear that AI may take your job is still, it's premature. I still feel it. I'm still paranoid about it, but it does still screw up, so that's good news. But, you know, the future of every movie you see, it always starts off with good intentions. iRobot, oh, look, I can cut your vegetables. I can walk your grandma to the store or whatever else, and one day they take over the world. I still think we might all eventually end up being a Bob Uecker, the eternal backup catcher. At some point, the starter will be the machine. So it managed a decent game, AI did. Managers, I hope y'all go now. I am still, like, I'm not over it. I got to keep my composure, but I'm so pissed at Pat Murphy. I hope you all get replaced by AI tomorrow. Why not? They do all the analytics anyways. All y'all do is micromanage and use analytics and stats. You don't use any instinct anymore.
I don't have beliefs. I have science.
Goddamn lying baseball managers. AI doesn't just want your spreadsheet, it wants your at-bat, so pay attention to that. Let's get into NFL Week 2. Everyone loves NFL. Everyone loves when the season starts. Everyone has hope. Week 2, I got a new segment for you that I'm calling Hell Yeah or Sit Your Ass Down. Hell Yeah or Sit Your Ass Down. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going to give you some reactions or things that I've heard, and I'll tell you whether I think they have merit and a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah!
Or whether I think they're full of it and you need to sit your ass down.
And sit your ass down.
So we'll start off with an easy one. The Kansas City Chiefs are cooked. The Kansas City Chiefs are cooked at 0-2. Man, sit your ass...
Sit your ass down.
Look, this 0-2 thing's getting less and less. Just last year, the Ravens and Rams were 0-2, and they did just fine. So the hot take machine that now the Chiefs have stumbled to 0-2 and the dynasty's done, and since 1990, only 11 to 12% of teams that go 0-2 make the playoffs. First of all, most of them didn't have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce. Second of all, it's a 17-game season now, and even during this 16-game season, where now I feel like week 2 is kind of week 1 thanks to the extra game and one less preseason, the good teams still did fine. The teams that started 0-2 before, I brought this up last week, teams like the 93 Dallas Cowboys, teams like the 2001 New England Patriots, teams like the 07 New York Giants, all started 0-2 and still didn't just do well, they won the damn Super Bowl. Just a couple years ago, the Cincinnati Bengals began 0-2. They won 12 of 14, finished 12-4, and went on to an AFC title game. So the 0-2 thing is really getting outdated along with the extension of the season, but also it doesn't relate to good teams that can get off to kind of slow starts, whether they're just not prepared yet or they play good teams, which is what Kansas City's situation was. These were both one-score games against really good teams. That first loss, 27-21 to the Chargers, was not just against a now up-and-coming Justin Herbert and the Chargers defense. That was in Brazil. It was a neutral site. It was out of the country. It was weird. The 2017 loss to the Eagles was not just a Super Bowl rematch against arguably the best team in the NFC. It was a fluke at the end of the game that, Mahomes, like he's done 100 times before, hits Kelce right on the 6-yard line. That's supposed to be a touchdown. Well, he fumbles the ball. It ends up becoming an interception. Y'all saw the game. That fourth quarter INT basically sealed it. But still, they were inches away from, instead of being 0-2, being 2-0, and we'd be talking just like we have the last couple of years that, oh, here we go, Kansas City, any close game, champs figure it out, yada, yada, yada. Y'all may have already forgot. They didn't lose a one-possession game for the last 2 years before these two debacles. And you could even make the argument, if you're anti-Chiefs, that luck is nothing more than preparation meeting opportunity, and I am a big believer of that, and that could be a problem. But it wasn't against bad teams. It was Herbert's Chargers and Hurts Eagles. I'm not ready to do that yet. I will agree with you at least slightly that I don't think they're as prepared as they need to be. And this is human nature, man. When you dominate as long as the Chiefs have, it's human nature. This is why the Kobes and the Tigers and the Jordans and the Bradys and the ones who were able to extend their winning streak way beyond what most people are capable of, it speaks to a level of psychotic dedication that is hard to have because most people just want to chill. And I think that's not really Mahomes' problem. It's definitely Travis Kelce's. He's off to clearly a bad start. He didn't run his route right in the snap on week 1 ended up hurting his own player, Xavier Woods. It was kind of funny that Taylor brought him up in the podcast and he accidentally bumped into him and hurt him, but I do think it was actually an accident. Then he had the big drop the next week, which is, of course, very unusual for Travis. But even in his slow start, he's had 108 yards and a touchdown through 2 weeks. But I do think, he's at the end of his career. He's going to be in Canton if he retires tomorrow. It's not Taylor's fault, but too much relationship distraction, worrying about engagement with big flower things behind you, worrying about bringing her on podcasts, worrying about all sorts of extra, what am I going to do after the NFL, I do think is affecting Travis Kelce. I think he's got one foot out the door. And Mahomes, I know we'd love to dance on Mahomes' grave, but it's just not appropriate. I mean, the dude, even in right now, his struggles in this 0-2, still is doing pretty good. 445 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, 123 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. His QBR is 81.4. That's 4th in the NFL. He's had a lot of scrambles. I think it's early in the season for him to doing it, and it shows kind of a frustration and desperation in the offense, but he's always been an underrated runner. Just look at the playoffs when he actually lets his legs loose, even though he has that weird bow-legged kind of duck run that he does there. But I mean, historically, I get what people are saying. They're like, look, dude, this is the first time in the Mahomes era. In the Mahomes era, the Chiefs are 0-2, and it's the franchise's first 0-2 start since 2014. And I will still remind you, not just of all those other teams, but even the Kansas City Chiefs themselves started, 2-3 in 2021. They went on to get to the AFC Championship game. I look at the AFC West, other than the Chargers, who are surprising me, I don't think anyone's running away from it. I don't think the Broncos or Raiders are anything better than the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers. We'll see. I mean, but they do look pretty good. But still, Kansas City owned this division for 7 years straight. You look at the upcoming schedule, they got some tough ones, but then later in the month, they get like the Giants, they get the Raiders, the Commanders. They could easily get back to like 3-3 and then be just fine with 11 games still left in the season. So I don't think they're cooked. Sit your ass down with that take. On the other side of the AFC, I got a hunch they're due. The Ravens, in my opinion, are still the best team in the AFC. I will take a hell yeah on the take that the Ravens are the best team still in the AFC. Even though they blew that big lead in week 1 and people want to crown the Bills or maybe, the Chargers or some new upcomers, the new kings of the AFC, I still say it's the Ravens because context is everything, man. That week 1 loss, as fun as it was to watch and amazing it was for the Bills and Josh Allen, was such a goddamn fluke. That 41-40 loss was such a historic anomaly. I want you to listen to me as I give you this stat. They were up 40-25 in that game, 5 minutes left. In that situation, teams were 2,312-3 in that situation since 2000, holding a 15-point lead with under 5 minutes left. 2,312-3 record since the year 2000. That is a .998 percentage, 99.8% of the time. Usually you figure that out.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
It was a more than 99% chance they were supposed to win that game where they kicked their ass most of the time. It was a miraculous, Allen comeback, and all shout out to him. 16 points in the final 4 minutes. I do not think you can rely on Derrick Henry, King Henry fumbling balls like that. That was probably a week 1 kind of fluke. They're working their way back into it. But outside of those, final minutes of that Buffalo game and going into week 2, they've looked just like the juggernaut that we expected. They look just like the juggernaut that's supposed to be betting favorites to win the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, the 2-time MVP, he put up 3 total touchdowns in that first game. I mean, they still were able to establish the run game humongously on Buffalo. 238 yards that day, 169 by King Henry, who was supposed to have a slump. But then they go into week 2 against a division rival, but is still considered maybe a decent team in the Browns, and they kicked their ass. And it reminded me, dude, it's a long season, and the Ravens are going to be just fine. Lamar Jackson threw for 4 touchdown passes, ripped off 21 straight points in the fourth quarter there. The Ravens are, of course, now 1-1, but this is a talented team with not a lot of holes, man. Offensively, of course, with Lamar, dual threat MVP, Derrick Henry, and now adding DeAndre Hopkins, I think was a big get. He's already been making big plays. They seem to be scoring 40 points now at will. Defensively, I think that they have a lot of talent, at least in their secondary and other places. 5 first-round picks, former first-round picks in the defensive backfield, guys like Humphrey, Alexander, Hamilton. You looked at a team that wasn't just offensively as proficient as Buffalo. They just beat the crap out of poor Joe Flacco and the Browns all day. Between the defense, I think, being better than it's been advertised after the Buffalo game, Lamar Jackson is continuing to be an MVP. 6 total touchdowns already, 4 passing, 2 rushing in just 2 weeks. He is literally the most lethal weapon in the league. AFC has some other contenders, of course, still the Bills, Chiefs, Chargers. I still say the Ravens are the team to beat. One crazy collapse that had literally less than 1% chance of happening and having someone like Derrick Henry fumble the ball, I don't think will happen very often. Yes, the argument can be made that in the end, the Ravens do have a history of great regular seasons and not doing so well in the playoffs. I got a hunch Lamar's due.
But I got a hunch he's due.
I think he leads his team well. I think they're a very talented team. I think the Ravens are still the best team in the AFC. Moving on. Is Caleb Williams underperforming, and is he a bust? Yeah, I'm starting to say give me a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
I understand that QBs need fit, and that's all true with coordinators and franchises looking like a Baker Mayfield, but he needs to grow up. He needs to grow up, and he needs to stop missing layups. The excuses for Caleb Williams, he's in year 2. This is a former number 1 pick, and as a rookie in 2024, you looked at a 62.5% completion rate. That's below the 63.5% league average for quarterbacks, and said, he's a rookie. Well, in 2 games through week 2, he's actually worse than last year, 61.5% at only 6.4 yards per attempt. It's not even like he's chunking the ball downfield. And the advanced metrics, dude, Williams is, again, he's missing layups, man. He's just spacing balls. He's overthrowing things. It's not good. He is wildly inaccurate in some of his throws from what was supposed to be the chosen one. He has an off-target bad throw rate of 22% since 2024. That ranks 31st, second worst amongst NFL quarterbacks for what's called the bad throw rate. His bad throw percentage was 21% last year. It has spiked to 26% this season. So these are advanced metrics and analytics, but they are able to figure out what they consider either just a overthrown or just a bad throw. He's not just already leading from his rookie year, he's actually getting worse, and you can see it. I mean, there's plenty of times receivers right there, and not even on bootlegs. Sometimes when he's got time to set his feet, he is just overthrowing receivers left and right. He actually got one guy almost killed already, his poor Moore, because he's making bad reads. He doesn't seem to be able to read the offenses yet. This is year 2, man. You're supposed to be figuring this out. Besides the fact he didn't have the best final season at USC, and how do you win in the NFL if you have a hard time winning in college? It's not just the stat sheet and the advanced metrics and the bad throws. It's eye test for me, man. It's been that way. The intangibles. You know, I know the painted fingernails and crying on your mom's shoulder at USC shouldn't be a big deal, but it's not just the NFL. You're trying to lead grown-ass men. It's Chicago. And walking in with kind of the aura and the attitude, the rumors that he was asking before he got drafted for equity in the whatever team picked him, this kind of air of arrogance and audacity. It's one of those kind of like Bull Durham. Remember when Nuke was coming in and Crash is trying to explain to him, like, dude, you can get cocky once you do something.
Being classy, you'll be classy. If you win 20 in the show, you can let the fungus grow back on your shower shoes, and the press will think you're colorful. Until you win 20 in the show, however, means you're a slob.
Like, once you win 20 games in the show as a pitcher, then be colorful, then be silly. But you got to earn the right to kind of act the way that you act. Caleb waltzed in with a lot of, hey, man, I'm already the man. Here's my painted fingernails. I do what I want. I say what I want. And when it's not working, it is much easier for not just players and analysts, but media to go like, I don't know if this kid's got it. Fans, especially Chicago fans. It was already kind of a weird marriage. It's easy for them to start going, this guy isn't even that good. What's with the nails? What's with the cry? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a bad combination in Chicago. He could have done all that if he had done anything that is anywhere close to the expectation that he was given. He has not gotten anywhere near it. Now, Sean Merriman, former Pro Bowler, said he questions his leadership abilities. This goes on after all the speculation going back to USC that maybe he just doesn't have it. And in a kind of side note, but also important, if you're any NFL fan in the next upcoming draft, maybe be happy that you don't get the number 1 pick. Go with number 2. Go with number 2, just like Dr. Evil. Number 2 is your guy because you look the last couple draft classes, Caleb was the consensus number 1. Jaden Daniels is the man. Even though he just got hurt right now, I mean, his rookie year is nothing to ignore. 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 98.9 rating, 1,000 rushing yards, NFC Championship game as a rookie, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Caleb has been anything but anywhere close to that. And that's just reminded me of 2023, back when, man, y'all were all excited because they got Bryce Young out in Carolina, and Bryce Young was going to be the man. Meanwhile, C.J. Stroud showed up, threw 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And number 2 is continually now starting to outplay the number 1 pick. And the Bears, once again, look like you might have whiffed. You might have whiffed. You might have whiffed on another one in a long history of trying your best to get that quarterback, and they've given Caleb plenty around him to work with. He just doesn't seem to have, I don't know, he hasn't figured it out yet. It's still early in his career, but right now, is Caleb underperforming? Yes. Is he a bust? I'm getting closer to saying hell yeah. Next one up, and this is great, and I'm happy to hear this. The push is strong to say goodbye to the tush push, and I, along with the rest of the NFL, am saying give me a hell yes.
It's about damn time.
On this. Let's all say goodbye to the tush push. It's got about 340 days left in its existence until their next owners meeting, whenever it is, comes up. And the Philadelphia Eagles and this just constant now, not just use of it, but I would argue either over-reliance or making it so obvious that people are getting tired of it. But man, no one does it quite like Philly. You at least got to give them that. No one does it like the Eagles. We were just reminded of it in the Chiefs game. If you're a Chiefs fan, of course, you were going nuts. They converted 4 of 7 for either a first down or a touchdown. But over the last 3 years, dude, 91.3% conversion rate since 2022. They have converted that damn play 91.3% of the time. The good news is it looks like it is officially, after the Chiefs game, being focused on and on borrowed time, because they have reignited a controversy that was brought up by Tom Brady, of all people, announcing the game, that they're not just good at it, because there is a combination of reasons I can explain, but that they're cheating. That the offensive linemen, if you actually wait and analyze, and you've seen videos now, and I'll show you, these guards are jumping early. It's not by a lot, but that is offsides. The defender can come in. That guard cannot move forward until that ball is snapped. And as you are seeing, there's multiple instances where they are jumping early, because the Eagles have always said, look, other teams tried to run it. The reason we're good at it is not that we cheat, is because we got a great offensive line, and that's true, that we have a big, strong quarterback who can take the punishment that a lot of other quarterbacks can't, also true, and that Jalen Hurts also has an instinct for it in the way some good running backs versus others that are just fast and strong are able to see the hole or find it or read it, that he has the instincts, that he's big and strong. It's our offensive line. There's a lot of reasons why we have a 91.3% rate that no one else has, but the more we watch, and Tom Brady, God bless him, just, he doesn't have to worry about anybody calling him out. He's already rich. He's already the GOAT, was going, dude, they are cheating. And the more I watched, I was like, oh shit, Tom's right. And let's keep it a buck. If anyone knows how to break the rules in the NFL and would be a good one to call it out, it's Tom Softballs Brady.
To me, those balls are perfect. I can only speak for myself. I don't want anyone touching the balls, rubbing the balls. To me, those balls are perfect.
I mean, he knows the rule book probably better than half of the damn general managers and referees in this league. But he said, they're leaving early. The direct quote, it's like the Eagles start every possession at 1st and 9 because they're stealing a yard with that play every time. And then later it went on to say, look, both Eagles guards moved before that ball was snapped. No flag was thrown. The referees missed that one pretty bad. Which was even more alarming was that Dean Blandano, for Fox Sports, their rules analyst, flat out said he had enough of it. Quote, I am done with the tush push, guys. It's a hard play to officiate. It's like I've been talking about, and everyone's really starting to go, dude, it's not just your great O-line. It's not just Jalen Hurts. You guys are cheating. And I think part of it, last year when the committee was only 2 votes away from voting it out in the first place and nearly banned it this offseason, I think it's different now the longer it's the Super Bowl champs and not just an upstart. Does that make sense? It's different when the Eagles were getting close and they had good teams, but they could never quite make it, that you would kind of go, well, it's a good play for them, but it's not like it's ruining the NFL. Now that the Chiefs have lost a couple times, now that they won a Super Bowl, and now it looks like they're a team to beat, and they're kind of relying on this and seem to have an unfair rate. Not to mention, it looks like the guards are jumping early. It's a different story that fans, coaches, GMs, and NFL in general goes, maybe we should get rid of that bullshit. Does anyone else get kind of tired of? And there's an overall consensus of that feeling that tush push is not really what football's meant to be. It's kind of in a gray area, and how the Eagles are doing it, whether they can say whatever other reasons why they're so successful, it's actually cheating. I think it's on its last dying breath. So say goodbye to the tush push. It'll probably be retired at the end of this season. Bill Cowher, also, by the way, I'll throw this in, on the Dan Patrick Show, had some amazing stuff to say about it, and he knows a lot about football. He has the same feeling.
I don't think it's a good-looking play. I know that Philadelphia is good at it. It has nothing to do with the Philadelphia Eagles for me. But, I think you saw that play yesterday, and how many times do we see it because of our technology today, that they're leaving before the ball's even snapped. And it doesn't even a good-looking play. Pushing people down the field, when do you stop the push? And I think it makes it very hard for officials to understand, at what point is the play over with this play.
This seems to be a general consensus that the tush push is over with.
Hey, okay, that's enough. Let's keep it moving on.
All right, this one I'm going to get into some quarterbacks. Can the Bengals and the 49ers survive their quarterback injuries? Sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down.
These are two teams that, no joke, can't toe the line. And I bring these two teams up because I really want to talk about turf toe.
What exactly is turf toe? A lot of people refer to any injury to the great toe joint as a turf toe. It's kind of like a catch-all term, much like a headache. A lot of different things can cause a headache. But turf toe is really when the ligaments, which are the structures that hold the joint together, become stretched or torn, and now the joint becomes compromised and it's loose, so that it's not articulating properly. Joe Burrow's injury is so severe that he's going to have surgery to put these ligaments back together to hold the joint in place.
It's going all the way back to when Dion was sitting out years for it. I think it sounds so silly. People don't realize, dude, turf toe is no joke. The Bengals and the 49ers, as good as their rosters are, have their franchise QBs most likely out for the season or for an extended time, and even when they come back, they're not going to be 100%. Dude, turf toe is way worse than it sounds. It is brutal. It wrecks everything. It is a weird sprain.
Without my toe, I need my toe.
It's not what it sounds like. It wrecks everything that a quarterback does. Their push-off, their balance, their accuracy, everything else. So you look at just the Bengals. Joe Burrow is not just battling a bad turf toe. He is battling a grade 3 turf toe surgery. They said 3 months at least, and people are going like, dude, 3 months? You guys are out of your mind, especially an injury-prone Joe Burrow. But Deion Sanders actually said that turf toe's worse than when he tore his ACL. It's supposed to be one of the most painful things that doesn't sound. They need to give it a new name.
It's not a scary name at all.
It's kind of like with hurricanes. They'll give it like Hurricane Melissa. I was like, why don't y'all give it Hurricane Wind and Raining Death? Like, why don't you help people understand? We got to change the name turf toe. Y'all don't really get it.
Oh, now you're going to shoot me in my pinky toe.
And Joe Burrow, just to get back to the Bengals, y'all are officially at a problem. It's become like you're really at a crossroads now with Joe Burrow of wondering, do we have to start looking somewhere else? As good as he is, this guy just can't stay healthy, whether it's his fault or not. It has truly become a problem. I like Jake Browning. He's fine. He seems like a nice guy, but he won't beat Baltimore, Kansas City, or Buffalo all the way down in January. I think the Bengals, as good as their roster is cooked. 49ers, same thing. Look, Brock Purdy went down week 1 with a turf toe variant, and they said that it's actually different than Joe Burrow's turf toe, that it's not quite as bad, but it's still 2 to 5 weeks, not to mention he has a shoulder injury. I know Mac Jones is able to have some bright spots here. Pats thought the same thing. Oh, this guy could be a franchise guy. Whatever, 20-29 as a starter. He's got 54 touchdowns, but also 44 interceptions. He's not awful, but he's not enough to keep you guys up in the NFC. Not to mention Kittle's hurt. McCaffrey's got more touches, I think, than anyone in the NFL currently, and I love Christian McCaffrey, but let's face it, he's also injury-prone. There's just too many ifs and ifs and ifs, and that becomes a problem.
There's nobody left. There ain't nobody around.
as the NFL season rolls along. Also, the NFC soft narrative, I don't quite know who started that. That's nonsense. The Lions are no joke. Philly is obviously no joke. Cardinals look good this year. Rams look real good this year. Seahawks look like they could be a problem. Bucks and Baker's late comeback miracle magic is something to pay attention to. The Packers look deadly serious with Micah. The Commanders. There's just a lot of teams that, man, I don't think Mac Jones in a always banged up roster, as good as the 49ers can be, is going to be able to survive it. But I want to reinforce the idea, dude, turf toe is a goddamn problem. We need to change the name. It is not a small deal. It's a big deal. And the Bengals and the 49ers are both in big, big trouble.
Ow, stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe.
Moving on to another quarterback, Shedeur Sanders already needs to start in Cleveland. Sit your ass down. It is not time for that. And Shedeur, as much as I like him, literally needs to lie in the bed that he made. He wanted to go to a team with opportunity, and this is what happens. You go to a team with opportunity, chances are it might be a shit show, and there's a lot of problems, and you need to be patient. He didn't want to go to any teams that had a good quarterback, so you got to go to a franchise that has a lot of bad quarterback problems. It is still time for him to be patient and wait his turn. I know everyone's thirsty to watch him, including me. I mean, the hype. He's got the big name, Deion's kid, but he is not ready to start for the Browns right now, and I will go back to just schedule alone. It is not a good idea. Just based on the upcoming schedule, there's no need to put Shedeur Sanders out there too early. Coming up next, they're going against Green Bay. They're done. Detroit, at Detroit, they're done. Vikings, we'll see. Still a tough game. At Pittsburgh, they go to New England Week 8. They have Baltimore Week 11. A lot of playoff caliber teams, a lot of good defenses. I don't want to feed a possible franchise QB to the wood chipper. Dylan Gabriel, we'll see how he can do. Let him have his shot. But if he has to get his ribs cracked while Shedeur sits there and gets more mature and learns from Flacco and kind of eases his way into this thing, I think that is much smarter. And once again, I have to remind people, Shedeur kind of deserves to wait. There were other teams that had better franchises and probably better opportunities for him to succeed. But if they had already a franchise quarterback, he wasn't willing to wait his turn on a good franchise like the Baltimore Ravens. Apparently, a lot of reports coming out saying the Ravens really looked at him, and his own camp Shedeur said, no, we don't want to be there. You already got Lamar. I don't want to wait for a damn thing. So rather than go to a good organization, he had to go to a struggling one, and I don't want to see him thrown out to the Wolves. I think that schedule is too tough. Again, Packers, Lions, that Vikings game is in London, at Pittsburgh, later Baltimore. Let Gabriel and Flacco figure all that out. Let Shedeur do what he needs to do. Wait his turn. Be patient. It's just not the smart play. It's also just not what he seems to be waiting for. Wait for the right opportunity. Later in the year, the schedule will soften. City will be desperate. Then unleash the Sanders show. Last one here. Looking at all the NFL 1-1 teams, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the best team in that big block of 1-1 that is not named the Baltimore Ravens. And I will say, sit your ass down.
No way. Jaguars are way cooler.
Because that crown still clearly belongs to the Detroit Lions. And I will ride on this till they prove me otherwise, because to me, the Lions are still for real, and the media is just upset with the Jacksonville Jaguars that they didn't Andrew Luck out again with Trevor Lawrence. Look, the Lions last year were great. They just got ravaged by injuries, especially their defense. And coming back now, Hutchinson is healthy. They added Reed as well. Even on offense, Jared Goff, he is on fire. 80.6% completion rate, 559 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Amon-Ra, Jameson, they're all rolling. Dan Campbell's a great coach. I love a coach that has the huevos and the leadership that Dan Campbell does. I love the Detroit Lions. I think by far they are the best 1-1 team, not named Baltimore. Matter of fact, I would say that Detroit is the most complete team outside of the Baltimore Ravens in that 1-1 category. And Jacksonville and the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, look, it's all giving Andrew Luck vibes. I just go back to thinking about Andrew Luck, and remember Andrew Luck and the whole hype train around him is so close to the Trevor Lawrence conversations and the Jacksonville Jaguars conversations. And every year the media is like, no, this one, the prince, the chosen one, he's going to be the next one up. And you keep waiting, and they'll have flashes. Andrew Luck, of course, had one amazing year, but then other than that, they're inconsistent. They have good years. They get hurt. This will happen, whatever, and they just never pan out. I'm just really starting to see the comparison between Trevor Lawrence and Andrew Luck and being like, dude, this is giving the same vibe I heard from before.
It's the same thing all over again.
And even then, Luck was better than Lawrence has been so far. In the first 3 seasons, Luck threw for like 13,000 yards, 86 touchdowns, only 43 interceptions. Lawrence so far is at 11,000 yards, 58 touchdowns, 39 interceptions. So at least Luck had a couple years where he flashed, and one specifically where he was amazing. Lawrence has been good. He's been fine, but he has never lived up to it. And until I see otherwise, the Jaguars are, just because they're his team, this new kind of, this team, you got to keep an eye. I don't see it. I don't feel it. They're going to have to prove it to me. Lawrence is going to have to prove it to me. Just like I said for years, Andrew Luck is going to have to prove it to me. And if I'm right again, it'll be just like the Colts, where he never actually did. Other 1-and-1s that are worth mentioning, the Vikings we'll see as well, but man, they just lost McCarthy, although he didn't look that good before he got hurt. He has an injury. The Commanders, of course, are a lot of people picking. Daniels now has a knee injury. He had a sprain to his knee. We'll keep an eye on that. I got to think, because, they're everywhere, some Cowboys fan is actually going to have the nerve to bring up, hey, we're 1-1. We beat the Giants.
Even though the Cowboys suck.
Cut it out. You guys barely beat the New York Giants, and you have the balls to tell me that, oh, man, we really think we got something. We almost beat the Eagles. I saw them preseason. It was a preseason game. They got some stars. I love Dak Prescott, but I don't have any faith in the Cowboys long term. Brandon Aubrey and that miracle 65-yarder, as usual, gave the boys a lot of confidence, but that was a miracle, and that is not the best of the 1-and-1 team materials. The Ravens are, of course, still the class of the 1-and-1s, but right behind them, I will say it's the Detroit Lions, not the Jaguars, not the Vikings, not the Commanders. I think the Lions are going to prove a lot of people what they thought they were going to do last year before they got hurt. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, I will die on this hill. I will die on this damn hill. I bring this up every year, and Brandon Aubrey gave me a perfect example to do it again. There is going to be a day, I predict, that the kickers are going to become one of the most important players on your team and a top 5 pick. They say the meek shall inherit the earth. I don't know if that's true, but one day the kicker is going to change football. When the rise of the 60-yard kicker comes, and it's coming, they are going to not just be a top 5 pick, they're going to be the most valuable player on your team, not named the quarterback.
I plan on taking over the world.
I've been saying this for a long time, that in our lifetime, and we will see, in my opinion, kickers that get to 90% from 60 yards, and when that happens, they're going to change the game. We are already seeing the signs of my prediction that one day you will see a 90% kicker from 60 yards. Brandon Aubrey just opened everyone's eyes again this week with the Giants. That was an amazing kick at the end of the game, 64-yard bomb. That adds now to his career, where he is 27 of 30 from 50-plus yards. That's 90%. Between him, now Matt Prater, and Justin Tucker, I can give you 7 seasons of kickers that are 90% from 50-plus yards. And the distance and the farther they're able to kick things, it is already moving back and back and back to the point the 60-yard kick is not even the longest kick anymore. Do you know the longest one now is 70 yards? Look at the chart. Look at how much these kickers are evolving quickly, and they are kicking from distances that we've never seen before. Cam Little, just this preseason. It was preseason, but it was 70-yard kick. We've had some kicks before that were 69, 67, 67, 67 in college in kind of some weird spots. But, of course, Tucker, y'all remember, did 66 yards just a few years ago. Brandon Aubrey did it just last year, 66 yards. You had Kimron in the preseason. That was back in 2002, 65. But Aubrey again, 65 yards. Grammatica, 65 yards. Aubrey, 64 yards. Some guy named Jake Bates in the UFL, 64 yards. The 60-yard kick is starting to become the 50-yard kick of it's not that weird of an attempt or kind of a freak out if you have your kicker give it a shot, because these guys are starting to figure it out. And the more we get these Brandon Aubreys, which is a cool story on his own, former big, strong soccer player who just converted. His wife watched someone miss a field goal and said, hey, dude, you kick it a mile. You can do that. But he's big. He's 6'3", 218. But these type of guys that really start focusing on this position are going to change the game. And Cowboys, at least 1 week, we're together on this. I know Aubrey's your new favorite player, and I love it. They see what I see. They see the future. I'm with you on this. Aubrey's the truth, man. Cowboys fans are out in videos currently raving about Aubrey. Check this out.
We got Brandon Aubrey.
Aubrey is a new GOAT. He gonna be the new GOAT of the team. Nigga, Aubrey, he tough for sure. That nigga Aubrey carrying.
Whatever money Brandon Aubrey won't, give it to him.
They need to retire number 17.
When I need him, coming through. Nigga like Plan B. Coming through in the clutch.
I mean, he's definitely clutch. All you need is 2 first downs, and we're in field goal range, so it's definitely a cheat code.
Gotta pay him. Pay the man. You paid everybody else, pay him. Get it out the way.
Man, I knew one thing, man. Once we got that ball back, I knew one thing. Brandon Aubrey was going to be money, man.
And look, I'm glad that they trust him. They see what I see. They see the future of football, that the kicker isn't just an accessory, he's going to be a weapon. And this isn't just a one-off. Like I said, the evolution is continuing. Next 5 to 10 years, kickers will be the most valuable player in your team, not named a quarterback. And it is so ironic because to this day, it is the most disrespected job in all sports. I get so tired of seeing these people who have to deal with one of the toughest jobs in the world, most mentally crushing, hardest, highest pressure, yet they get no respect. Poor Co just had a bad game a couple days ago. The Falcons, they left his ass at home. The quarterbacks can suck, for years on end. No one has anything to say to him. Kicker misses one kick. He's not perfect. He's trash. It's his fault. They only have one job. It's one of the hardest things to do. If you look at the science of actually getting that weird pigskin spinning this way between those two little uprights, it is one of the toughest things to do. It has not ever gotten its due, and I think it's going to come back one day in a big way where they're not just going to get their due. You're going to start seeing top 5 picks for kickers.
What would you give up for Brandon Aubrey?
He is a kicker you would give up a first-round plus for. I think there's no question in my mind.
You really think so?
Yes.
How much do you think Brandon Aubrey would be worth on the trade market? Like if the Bills or Ravens were like, if you saw a headline come up and it's like Schefter reports the Bills have traded a 4th-round pick for Brandon Aubrey.
Oh, way more.
What would you thought?
I mean, that's a steal for Brandon Aubrey. If you heard Kyle Shanahan send a 1st-round pick to the Cowboys for Brandon Aubrey, would you not be like, I guess it's better than a third of Trey Lance?
Let me explain the value. This is I need to do this one more time. I've done this before. You can look it up, old YouTube videos. But I will remind you, this is the math now. If you have a 90% 60-yard kicker, which I think is coming, the only thing you have to do at that point is get to the 43-yard line. To kick a 60-yard field goal, all you have to do is get to the opponent's 43-yard line. 10 yards, of course, for the end zone. Back 7 for the snap, so 17 yards back. If an average NFL team punts 5 to 6 times per game, and about 3 of those punts happen in the midfield territory, somewhere around the 43 to opponent's 45-yard line, and you have a kicker who hits 80 to 90% from 60 yards, that is an extra 7.2 points per game, a.k.a. an extra touchdown every single week.
We'll change the game.
I'll repeat, if you punt 5 or 6 times a game, and 3 of those punts are somewhere around the 43 to 45-yard line, sometimes back to the 50, depending on the kicker, and you have a kicker who I think is coming, that is 80-90% from 60 yards plus, that is 7.2 extra points per game, that is an extra touchdown every game. That is not just changing the game. That would make him the most valuable player, not named the quarterback. You look at just a couple of years ago, the only people that weren't a quarterback that averaged 7 points a game were stud Christian McCaffrey and Mostert when he set the records in Miami. That was it. So it would be like prime McCaffrey is your kicker. Would you not give a top 5 pick for a prime McCaffrey? I'll wait. A reliable 60-yard kicker will be worth a first-round pick, and y'all are going to lose your mind, and you're all wrong, but I'm seeing it happen. 2000, there was only 38 makes from 50-plus yards. 2010, there's 59 makes. 2020, 125 makes from 50-plus. Week 1 just last year, they were 21 of 23, 91% from 50 yards plus. Aubrey is starting to consistently kick now 60 yards plus. Multiple seasons, multiple players, at least 90% from 50-plus. The 60-yard, 80 to 90% kicker is coming. He will change the game, and it will be the most important thing not named your quarterback, and I will die on this hill. I know, a lot of math, a lot of ranting.
I have one more thing to say.
Last thing. Got to call it a day. I was going to talk, and I'll save it for another day, about the WNBA, the Angel Reese saga, where she's pretending to have a back injury after she got mad. The reporter just reported what she said, but it still looks like now that her chances of staying in Chicago and returning are sky high. We don't know where she's going to end up. I think she has maturity issues, and there's a problem there. But I'll save it for another day because the WNBA playoffs are on their way and are actually going on right now.
It's the playoffs.
And no one brings the juice outside of Caitlin Clark like Angel Reese. At least Angel Reese would have brought some juice to these playoffs where there is just no excitement, and I don't care. I don't care. And what sucks, this is a total flip because at the start of the WNBA season, dude, I was pumped. There was hype. There was buzz. You could feel it. Caitlin and Angel year 2. We got Paige coming in. But now the playoffs are here. I don't give a shit. No one else gives a shit. And the ratings actually back me up on this, and I'll explain to you just how bad they are. But, dude, this is just beyond detrimental when you have no Caitlin, you have no Paige, you have no Angel due to either teams not being good enough or injury. That is all the juice of this playoffs. They are all gone.
Compounding interest, and it's gone.
Angel's gone. Paige is gone. Caitlin is gone. Confirmed. None of them will be in this year's playoffs, and it is just going to be a rough time. The television ratings are not good for the WNBA post-Caitlin, and even with Paige and Angel and some of these other ones I'll tell you about in a second. And ESPN and WNBA, they're trying to spin this, and God bless them, that's their job. They're trying to spin that top and tell you, oh, man, ratings are coming in, and they're 5% higher than last year, and yada, yada, yada. We got 1 million here, and we got 1 million there. There's a lot that they won't post, and there's a lot that is hard to find that they won't show. Good news is I have a lot of free time and not a lot of friends. I was able to find some of the ratings that have happened, not just the ones that they cherry pick. And oh my God, I think this will be indicative of the WNBA playoffs, and it is not good. Show you this chart here. Look at some of the ratings in the last couple months, especially sans Caitlin, that have been on in the WNBA. And remember, Caitlin on a bad day was getting 800, 900,000, usually a million. Wings versus Sparks just the other day, 130,000 viewers. Fever versus Mystics, only 270,000 viewers. Sky versus Aces, 90,000 viewers.
Is anyone even paying attention?
Also 200K, 400K, 300K. And these are the ones I could find. Like I said, that was actually some of the ones that were propped up. A lot of these ratings guides, they make it really hard unless you have a Nielsen subscription through the media to be able to really comb through it. These are the ones I was able to figure out. Dude, 130K and 90K is a joke. When I tell you that if Caitlin Clark, especially if she was playing and had any buzz going, but even now, if Caitlin Clark just put on Instagram and said, hi, I'm doing a live because I'm going, shopping, she's going to get 90,000 viewers. The Sky versus Aces only got 90K, and that's with A'ja Wilson and Angel Reese. And even if they weren't playing, even when the Fever still get propped up. You can go back to that chart and look, Fever versus Sky, Lynx versus Fever, and then there's some other games, Fever versus Mystics still gets 270, even when Caitlin's not playing. Fever versus Mystics, even without Caitlin, still got 270K because she brought a fan base and a loyal group there. Dude, 90K is a joke. That's beyond embarrassing. This is not they really tried to ignore this, but I pay attention and I look up things. 90K, 130K, 200K is alarming, and especially when you don't have scrubs in those games. Like I said, the Aces is A'ja Wilson, who is the best player in the WNBA, the MVP, and should be a big deal. She only got 90K. Paige, the savior, the chosen one, the one everybody wanted. She's only getting 130,000 viewers as she is chasing Caitlin's rookie records. That is just not close. It's not close at all. And then you got on the New York Liberty now, poor Brianna Stewart. She's got a hurt knee. So the last big market team that's really out there in the Liberty with Ionescu and Stewart, they got problems. The WNBA's got big problems. The ratings are going to be big problems. I don't give a shit. I don't hear anyone talking about it. I don't feel any buzz. I don't see people posting. I don't hear conversations day to day like I did earlier in the season. I think they're going to struggle, and I'm just glad football's here and baseball playoffs, except for the Brewers being there. I hope y'all lose. I hope y'all lose by 87 runs. Pat Murphy, one day, me and you, we're going to hash it out. I cannot believe I fell for him giving me a fake Bob Uecker letter. Got to go. You guys enjoy your week. We'll talk to you next time. And yeah, that's it. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and I love you. Bye.
Lie Sports.